Hello. Today we are pleased to have Professor Bill Muskopf here today to discuss his role at Touro University, as well as some of the fields he works in. We asked Bill to tell us a little bit about himself and some of his positions.
Hello everyone, I am Bill Muskopf. I am a teacher here at Touro, and I teach all of our project management courses and business management graduate courses for GST. And I am passionate about training, I'm passionate about my students, and I really do love to teach and to build my network through working with students like yourselves.
Bill teaches many courses. We asked him what types of training is done for the program.
So the training that I do is all IT business related. So it's things like agile management, things like risk management, project management specifically. Right now I'm teaching a class in IT governance. So essentially all of the IT governance around running an entire IT organization. So all things along those lines, not technical, and I will always say that I'm not, if you see me with a screwdriver, you should run, because I'm not the person who you want help, doing any technical kind of work, but I have been, in my entire career, I've worked in management of IT and managing people and hopefully inspiring and motivating them, which has to do with the training as well.
Professor Muskopf has had a long career of work before getting started with Touro University. We were excited to get a glimpse into some of his prior experience.
I was in the IT industry in 2009 and I had been laid off, actually. I was with IBM, and in 2009 there was a very big cutback on IT staff, and it was a very large layoff. And I went to a school fair, or a work fair I should say, a job fair, and I met Shmuel Fink from Touro GST, and Shmuel was interviewing me, I thought for a job, and he said, "Have you ever considered teaching?" And I said, well, I kind of do. In my previous life at IBM, I had done a lot of training, I had done a lot of certifications and that kind of thing, but I never thought about teaching as a profession or doing something outside of my day job. So I started working for GST way back then, and since then it's grown into a consulting company, it's grown into a lot of other opportunities for me outside of my day job. So I'm very thankful for running into Shmuel at a job fair in 2009.
Professor Muskopf has many responsibilities. We were curious what his daily tasks as a project manager are.
Well, I'll tell you two things. So my current job is compliance leader for HPE, and I'm teaching an ITIL 4 CDS class. So I had a class from 9 o'clock this morning until 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Then I have a series of meetings for my customers in the IT world. In fact, one of my customers that I'm currently working with is the Lawrence Livermore Labs, which has what's called El Capitan. It's the largest supercomputer in the world right now. And that's one of my customers. I help with some of the solutioning and contract work for that deal. So my suggestion to students, and the reason why I do what I do and all of that, is I get to work on really cool stuff. And I get to be involved in really cool stuff. My entire career, I was always involved in cutting edge things that I didn't even realize that I was involved in. So that's the day job for me, is finding those experiences and realizing how what you're doing is really relevant. And some of it is historic, and you're just doing your day job, but it's in IT, so you wind up doing things that are much more historic than you could even imagine, and it may just be that you were there, right? So those are the opportunities that I love, that I had those opportunities, and you will have them too in the IT industry as you go forward, just because you're here, just because you're doing this, just because you're working in these kinds of projects, which I think is just really, really cool.
We were wondering what the project management program is about and what can students expect to get from the program.
The main course that I teach is our MSIM 609, which is our Introduction to Project Management, and then our advanced class in project management. Those two classes kind of form the core of what our project management degree from Touro GST kind of is based on. So the project managers, knowing the intro and knowing the advanced course, I try to cover both what's called the PMI standard, which is the Project Management Institute standard, as well as some other standards that are out there, including Prince 2, which is the second most common that's out there. They both have good points, they both have things that I like to bring into the course, but the main point at the end of the day is that the students who come out of here should be able to go into a project environment and should be able to actually participate in projects and understand how to do a risk register, how to work on a work breakdown structure, how to do the things that project managers do on a day-to-day basis. Things like budgeting, things like resource management, things like risk management, and scope management. There's lots of different aspects to it. But really what it comes down to at the end of the day is that the students coming out of those two courses should have a background enough to be able to be at least a support function within a project environment.
Bill has done project management work for several companies. We were interested to know how a project manager plays a role in the IT field and why it is so important.
Project management in general is really the key to holding everything else together. Bringing together software developers and hardware architects and network, data center experts and all those things. All those things need to be managed and all those things need to be brought together. That's what a project manager does. So projects like that really are what inspire me to want to teach others how to be project managers and also inspire me in my career as well.
With the years of experience Bill has, we asked him if he had some key knowledge for students to land a role in project management.
So the first thing I would say is that you need to build a network, right? So I always start with, and I tell my students that I don't want them to be friends with me on LinkedIn until they're through my classes. But at the same time, I absolutely want them to build their network through me, and for me to build my network through them as well. I've gotten many consulting jobs from students that have graduated from Thoreau and then come back to me afterwards and said, hey, you did that great class on risk management, could you come to my work and do something similar? The second one, find mentors. You want to find people that are doing what you want to do in the industry. You want to be a project manager? Find a really good project manager that you can talk to. But finding the right people in the industry that you can actually talk to and have a conversation with, ask all of the ridiculous questions that you don't want to ask in an interview, right? All of those things, and building a relationship with someone is quintessential. It's absolutely important. I've never gotten a job that I did not have a recommendation for.
Professor Bill Muskopf always tries to stay socially connected. We asked him if he had some advice on how to improve networking.
So I would say use the common tools, right? Have a good professional LinkedIn profile. Do all the promotion that you can. And many times the main thing in networking is how you present yourself. So have that 30-second speech that we always talk about of, what do you do, where do you want to go, what are your qualifications, whatever. Make sure you have that. But also, you should be marketing yourself as if you were selling a product, right? You should be creating a website and making sure you're updating that website regularly with content that makes sense, that fits with your major, that fits with what you want to accomplish. If you just have a blank, LinkedIn page that just has your resume on it, it's not going to do much for you. But if you find an article interesting, share it, right? If you find something, and make sure that you are giving the feedback to that service so that you are able to show that you are interacting with it, that you're interactive with whatever that service is that you're working with.
We would like to thank Bill for joining us today. Don't forget to like and share our video. We look forward to seeing you in the next one.